We have an amazing lineup this fall from
You do.
Ignatius Press,
Hmm.
Magnificat children's books. I believe we have, with Bambinelli Sunday, 9 total new books.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say a couple recommendations for different ages. I know, Amy, I sent you some of those books. Did you have a favorite of those books that I sent by any chance?
Um, I would say, I mean, I think the Swiss Guard one is pretty cool. And
Yes, it is.
it
Yep.
bridges that age, kind of that. I mean, my oldest grandson is 10, and it's like really good for his age because he doesn't want to really look at a baby book, but
Right,
he
right,
may not want to read something in depth with like no images. And so a graphic novel kind of
right.
account of the
Yeah.
Swiss Guards is perfect for that age.
Yeah. I'll say when that box arrived in our home, I have, like I said, I have 5 kids, 2 boys right in the middle, and
Hmm.
they're 11 and 8, and
Oh,
they both just like grabbed the Guard book and were so
yeah.
excited to read it because it has like a fighting guy on the front. So
Right.
that's like the best thing for a little boy. And then
Right.
of course the graphic novel, but the novel's meaty. I mean, it's
Hmm.
long and it tells about this journey of this young man who wants to become a Swiss Guard, and there's
Right.
history, and it's a very cool book, especially for those kind of hard to shop for boys.
Hmm.
I also wanted to throw out our Seek and Find books.
Yeah.
So you have, yeah,
Yeah,
younger
I have to
kids.
say my other grandson is 5, just turned
Right.
5, and I've given him all the other ones from the series,
Oh, okay.
and
Well, thank you.
yes, and he loves them. He
Yeah.
loves them, and
They're
it's
like
something the
Where's
children.
Waldo, like a
Right,
Catholic version of Where's Waldo with this
right.
finding the little characters in each page. And so those are super fun. And again, that is 5 years old, 6 years old, that kind
Mhm.
of pre-reading, just getting into reading age. It's a perfect book for that.
Yeah.
And then the other one that I'm so excited about, which I know I sent you also, is The Lady of Guadalupe by Tommy
Oh,
DePaula.
yes, beautiful.
So beautiful. And
Mhm.
that book is one of, in my years working for Ignatius Press, one of the books that we would constantly get emails about, like, are you bringing this book back into print? So many people asked, and for so long you couldn't find it, and it was so expensive because it was out of print. So we're very excited to have that one back in stock.
Yeah,
And of course, Our Lady of Guadalupe's feast days during Advent, so it's a great
right.
book to have in your home during this time of year. The number one pick for me this year is absolutely Bambinelli Sunday.
Yay.
And I love just to hear a little bit about first of all, like, how did you find out about Bambinelli Sunday? That's not something that's popular here in the United States. What inspired you to write this?
Well, I have to give due credit and full credit because I didn't do this book by myself. And I think,
Right.
in fact, the most engaging aspect of the book I didn't do. So the idea came from Ann Engelhart. And
Okay.
Engelhart is my good friend and collaborator when one of her trips to Italy, and she went to Naples. And she actually went to the street that we focus on in the book, that is the center of the Principe figure making in Naples. And if traditionally in Europe, most crafts people of a certain craft tend to congregate in certain streets and neighborhoods. So, for example, if you go to London, there's a Paternoster Row, and that is where the rosary makers used to be,
Oh,
Paternoster.
wow.
And
Yeah.
so in Naples, there is this street, and you go there today, and it's all of the, it's centered on Principe, that is Italian nativity scene figures. And she went there, and then she learned about the tradition, which I don't know how far back it goes, but it's been happening for, about 20 years. And she saw that Pope Benedict had done this ceremony in the Vatican on the third Sunday of Advent, and children brought their bambinelli, their baby Jesuses, to be blessed. We came up with the idea of this little boy who is temporarily living with his grandparents, and his grandfather is a Principe figure maker. And he learns how to do that and kind of works through a little bit of his sadness about his situation, and then travels to Rome, to the Vatican for Bambinelli Sunday, and has a very nice surprise at the end.
And the story is beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
just actually read it to my children again last night, and the artwork again is just so lovely.
Yeah.
Recently on social media, Anne shared some images, actually scenes from Italy that inspired her work.
Mhm.
And I just loved seeing them and seeing the real scenes from those Italian streets, especially like the nona. I was
Right.
obsessed with the nona. I said, "Oh my gosh, if you've ever been to Italy, you know, you see these nonas up on these
Yeah.
balconies everywhere, and they're just so it was just so charming to see that in the book, how she really brought that, beautiful Italian imagery to life in her illustrations. So yes, this book is gorgeously illustrated. And something that Anne also did recently online, which we have on our social media at Ignatius Press,
Mhm.
is she actually had a video on how to make your own Bambinelli.
Right.
I thought this was so clever and fun. So last night, after I reread the book to my children, I was like, and now I want to show you this really cool thing we're going to do, this new tradition we're going to start. And I showed them the video of Anne making the Bambinelli, and we ordered the clay to make
Oh,
it. They're
good.
all excited. And then they were like practicing making the Bambinelli on Play-Doh, like red, bright red Play-Doh.
Mhm.
And so I know that our nativity scene this year is going to be very interesting looking with
Yeah,
all of these
that's
interesting looking
great.
babies, but they were so excited to do that. So not only is
Good.
this a great book to read to your children, but I think this new tradition of making your own Bambinelli is going to be something that kids really look forward to. So I know my kids, if they didn't already have Bambinelli Sunday, they would be getting it